Hello, everybody, and welcome to November's video series, Life and Spiritual Coaching, with this month's theme being core beliefs, right? What are your core beliefs? So a lot of people are like, well, what does core beliefs mean? Well, it's like having a belief system, but it's a belief system that is so strong that it goes to the core. Basically, that's what it is. It is a strong belief system that is buried down deep to the core of your being. And what happens is we're so stuck in that belief system that when we try to change it, we feel bad. We feel guilty. We feel wrong. We feel lots of different feelings. So, core beliefs are deeply held beliefs that inform how people see themselves, okay? These deep-seated beliefs, well, no matter what they are and where they came from, are things that you truly believe because somebody or something made you feel that way, okay? They also have a huge influence on your life, on everything you do, everything you want to do, making decisions, perceptions, you name it, okay? Now, core beliefs, of course, being as strong as they are, can be very helpful. They can also be very unhelpful, okay? Or it can be one of those midway things, like it's not good, it's not bad, it just is, okay? Unhelpful or unrealistic core beliefs may negatively affect a person's mental health and parts of your life as well. So that's the things we're going to talk about today is what core beliefs do you have and what are they doing for you or to you, okay? So now, think of it this way. Because core beliefs come from such a large part of a person's, worldview, okay? Sometimes people have a hard time deciphering what my core beliefs are. What things do I believe in that, affect my life, okay, in a negative way or positive way or whatever, the neutral way, okay? So it does take a little bit of time to figure those out. Some you may figure out right away. I may say something today, you go, oh my God, that's me. You never know. Even me doing my research on core beliefs and, dealing with my own, it's like, I read something and I went, oh, I do that. Or I feel that, whatever it is. So, don't think because you have these funky core beliefs that hold you back in life does not mean you're not worthy of living a good life. It does not mean that you are less than anybody else. Remember, we are all human beings, right? We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. There's a difference, okay? So remember that. There's no good, there's no bad, there just is. Okay, so core beliefs are formed early in life, shaped by our upbringing and our experiences. That's a given. Okay, when you're born, you have parents, you have grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, so on and so forth. You grow up, you have teachers, you have religious leaders, you have life leaders, and it just goes on and on and on from there. So it starts very, very early. Obviously, it starts right from day one. Okay. Because they're so deeply seated and embedded within our soul, our cells, okay, in our energy, however you want to look at it, sometimes they can be very difficult to change. Not to say it's impossible, because nothing is impossible, because within the word itself, it says, I'm possible, right? So it just may be much harder for you to work on those changes versus someone else, okay? And that's okay. I always say it doesn't matter if you've changed completely, as long as you're moving forward and you're heading in a direction of change for yourself to improve what you want to improve on, then God bless you, okay? That's what it's all about. It's not the fact of, oh my God, the doctor says I'm dying and I have 2 weeks left to live and I haven't changed. No. You get up every day with the thought process of, I'm working on myself. I'm getting better. I'm doing my best. I'm moving forward. That's what matters. So remember that, okay? So don't think of those core beliefs that make you feel if you don't accomplish something, it means you didn't accomplish anything, okay? Remember that. All right, so Their original function, okay, is to help us make better sense of our formative experiences. All right. But they can also become very unproductive, or even sometimes for some people harmful later in life. And that's the tough part. So harmful common core beliefs usually come in the form of I am this, or people are that, or the world is this. And it's always negative, 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 no matter how you look at it. Negative, negative, negative. And if you have been following me, then you know that when you have all these negative, negative, negative things and thoughts and ideas and words, your life is very negative. So to get out of those core beliefs makes it that much harder, because all you're seeing is the negative of everything, okay? Sometimes people think that they're bad, that they're evil. They think they're a loser. They think they're not good enough. They think they're not smart enough. They're incompetent. They're ugly. They're stupid. They're rotten to the core. They are unworthy, undeserving, oh my gosh, whatever. Abnormal, strange, weird, boring, okay? Flawed. I mean, I've heard stories. Or just plain old unlovable, okay? And I know people whose a parent has told them, I never wanted you because you're broken. And I don't want anything that's broken. Now that's sad. That is very, very sad. That is a belief system that sits deep down in that soul that doesn't let go. And it's unfortunate because that deep-seated thought process turns into deep-seated anger. Now, you may grow 50 years into your life and seem like you're a great person on the outside, but on the inside, in that dungeon, is that deep-seated anger just sitting there shaking and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it comes out as physical sickness because we don't work on letting go of that anger. It's hard to tell somebody whose parent has said this to them that say, you know what, that was their perception of you. That is not the truth. Because the two people in the world that you look up to the most from being born is your mother and father. So when that gets screwed up, it's hard. It can be hard for people. So I'm going to tell you all right now, from my perception, I don't know who's watching this right now or who's going to watch this, but whoever you are, I am grateful for you. I am grateful that you are here to listen. I am grateful that you're in tune with what you need. I'm grateful that you're here on this earth. I'm grateful that you're a great person, a beautiful person, a loving person, a caring person, a kind person. I may not know who you are watching this right now, but let me tell you, it doesn't matter. Because my perception of people on this earth, and granted, I get into my human head sometimes and go, wow, okay. But in all reality, everybody is a spark of the divine. And everybody is who they are by who they want to be, not what people tell them to be or what people tell them they are, because it's not always your truth. You know your truth. Live your truth, no matter what or who says something to you about what you are not. Remember that. You are special. You are loving. And again, I wish I could remember. I think it's the acronym for WEIRD. It's what everyone indicates as radically different. I came up with that one day and I was like, wow, okay. So be weird. Be weird. Who cares? This is your life, no one else's. Your life. Live it the way you want and be happy. Okay? You're not here for everyone else's approval. Okay. All right, so finally then we deem the world a dangerous place because our head is in this space of I'm no good, people suck, the world is a mess, negative, 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 right? So then we get, okay, now the whole world is a dangerous place, okay? It's unsafe, it's a hostile environment. Oh my God, like what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to us? What's going to happen? What's going to, what? That's where we get stuck, okay? And I get that. There's a whole like trilogy of things that happen that create this feeling, this sensation, this craziness that we believe. So the beliefs that fall into the helplessness category, okay, are related to personal incompetence, vulnerability, and inferiority. So unlovability related core beliefs include the fear that we are not likable and incapable of intimacy, okay, while worthless themed core beliefs include the belief that we are insignificant or a burden to others. First things first, I can tell you right now, I think those who always think that they're a burden to somebody is because one person probably said to you, why do you keep asking me for things? So now how are you going to feel when somebody tackles you like that with those words? Can't you do anything for yourself? Right? We hear these things. So what happens now when you truly need help? You don't want to ask anybody because you're afraid of being a burden to those people, right? You are not a burden. If you truly need help, then ask for help, okay? And if somebody offers you help, say yes. This was one of the lessons I needed to learn in life, okay? And it's not easy. It's not easy. I was pushed to be an adult way before I should have been an adult. I was pushed to be independent, strong, take care of things, play domestic diva before I was even old enough to be married as a domestic diva or anything like that. Okay, and even that, maybe I'm what do you call it? Stereotyping myself, but hey, but that's how I was raised. Okay, so that's what I believed. I believed I was supposed to, the man of the house was supposed to be taken care of. You were supposed to make sure he ate and had what he needed and his clothes were clean and you packed his lunch and you did this and you did that. And so guess who did all that? I did all that. I did that for my dad. I did that for my first husband, my second husband. And then I was like, whoa, something's got to give here. Okay, I shouldn't have to be taking care of these people. They're full-grown adults. Okay, if I do something for you, it's because I want to, not that I feel obligated to do so. So therefore, all those years of being pushed, I was like, okay, now I don't want to ask for help because I feel like I'm a burden to these people. So I'm not going to do that. But during my second divorce, the money got cut off instantly because somebody thought I was robbing from them. And I'm like, no, that's not the case. I need to buy groceries for your children so they can eat. But didn't care because it was their money. So, okay, fine. I had a friend come up to me one day and she put her hand out like this, like, here, this is for you. And when I opened up my hand, she dropped money in my hand and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this because again, I was raised, you work hard, you save your money, you pay your bills, you buy what you need to buy, blah, blah, blah. You do it yourself. And I had to remember that belief system does not always fit for me anymore. So I needed to turn around and stop myself real quick and go, thank you. Because that was a blessing that day because I actually needed it to buy groceries because I had no money because everything got shut off on me instantly. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I accepted the help. And then the one thing I realized, and I started telling my clients this, is because I've met a lot of people that feel the same way. Like, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need anybody. Like, yeah, you do. Sometimes you do. And why, and this was my thing, why would you deny someone else's happiness because they want to help you? As much as you like helping everybody else, don't you think other people enjoy it as well? So why deny them the feeling of happiness from helping you? Why say no? Say yes. It's okay. Right? All right. So we go on to talking about negative views of other people. Okay. So sometimes we just look at somebody right away like, oh, no, that person's not trustworthy. That person looks shady. That person's probably going to hurt us. We shouldn't do that. Like, I've been out with people and like, yes, we'll be in a small city. And right away it's like, oh, we should get out of here because, it's not safe to be out here at night. And I'm like, first of all, you can't always look at every place you go like that. Now, I understand, yes, there's probably places like that maybe you should not be in, and I get that. But just assuming and judging an area based on the fact that it's out of your norm, don't do that. Don't do that. You may think that people out there in the world are just demeaning, uncaring, unkind, manipulative. And again, that could run on the same situation as not just, out in the world, but relationships, family, friends. They can be very manipulative as well. But we let it slide because they're family, because we're related, because you're married to them or whatever. No. No manipulation. All of these beliefs, basically what happens is they start to make you feel very, very anxious. You purposely won't do things just so you don't have to deal with any rejection. And you find yourself being one of those people that when you do interact with others, you always have to have that feeling, that sense of validation. Like, oh, look, I did this. And you want to hear that thank you. You want to hear that. And of course, it's always nice to hear thank you. But it's like, well, I did this and I did that. And I. And you're looking for that validation from somebody to say, wow, that's amazing. What a great job. So that you can feel validated. And it's like, if you think you did a great job, well, then good for you. That's what it's all about. It's what you think, not what everybody else thinks. Because what everybody else thinks of me is none of my business. Okay? Okay. So your core beliefs, if your core beliefs are positive and helpful, okay, we need to take no further action. Anything that you sense, feel, do, say, whatever, if it's positive, you're good, okay? When it becomes negative, that's when it's the problem. So if you have anything that's positive, by all means, it's okay, fine. If they're not, you must work on, and I'm going to say must work on, but again, people will only change when they want to change. Okay, even those of you listening to me right now, you may say, I probably should change because that's no longer my belief anymore. I believe this, but yet the guilt of not going with the old belief system is what holds you back. And until you are ready to say, you know what, screw it, I'm cutting those cords, I'm done, I'm moving on with my own belief systems. You have to wait for that. When is that? When you feel it. When you make the choice to say, you know what, I am done. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. Okay? That's when things happen. So when I say transform, I mean you looking to transform the core beliefs, because what happens is the core beliefs end up being the root of all your low self-esteem. Low confidence, okay? No personal power in the solar plexus, if you can see what I'm doing here. Solar plexus is right here, okay? Personal power, confidence, self-esteem, all that sits in there very, very strong. And what happens is the negative influences, thought processes, core beliefs, and all that, diminish that completely. It's like somebody slams like a steel plate over your solar plexus and goes, not happening, right? So a lot of these beliefs, they shape how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, even on how other people treat us. You know, sometimes because of our lack of self-esteem, we allow other people to treat us badly because we are not strong enough to stand up and do what needs to be done, right? They also set the rules by which we live and the tone of our self-talk. Because, again, belief systems come from, oh my God, the minute you're born, okay? I'm not saying anything bad is happening, but, you know, you may have a day where maybe you're crawling around the floor having a blast and, you know, next thing you know, as a baby or a toddler does, it throws up, and mom's probably up to here with so much baby stuff, and it's hard. It is hard having a baby. And, you know, maybe without trying, she, like, why do you do that? And start screaming and hollering. And, you know, you may just be looking at her like whatever, but it's still energy. As you get older, what's wrong with you? Why can't you follow direction? Are you deaf? Like, don't you listen? Don't talk back to me. Children are to be seen, not heard. Excuse me. Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many. You know, you might be in school and maybe you had a bad test grade, and like right away, one of your parents might say something like, well, what's wrong with you? Didn't you study? Didn't you do this? Didn't you do that? Blah, 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 blah. You know, instead, they could have come to you and said, okay, so let's talk about this. What do you feel was the reason behind the lower score? Do you think you didn't study enough? Were you having trouble understanding? Is there something you could have asked for help with? Is there anything I can help you with? See how that sounds much more positive? You know, I understand generations have changed a lot, but if you really look back at the generations, like for myself, I'm 57, so I grew up with, why didn't you do your homework? Why this, why that, blah, blah, blah. And I was always meant to feel like, oh, I'm in trouble, so I never said anything. My parents, the same thing, and probably even worse. You know, my grandparents, the same thing, and even more so worse. You know, so, you know, it's like I find that talking to children, young adults, like my kids, yeah, we might have a disagreement or something, but I do my best to never come out with something that makes them feel less than, okay? If somebody is feeling really out of sorts, I'm like, okay, let's discuss this. What is going on? What is making you feel this way? You know, because I know some people, like, kids should be kids and kids should just get over it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but why aren't their feelings validated by anybody? Their feelings are just as valid as ours. So why are they not allowed to have feelings? Why do people just assume because you're a kid, you should not feel overwhelmed? You should not have anxiety. Like kids in school may be having a tough time. Maybe they've got testing is going on. Maybe they belong to a club or two. Maybe they play sports. You know, maybe they're having something with a friend that just is not good at the moment. Okay, maybe they have a girlfriend or boyfriend and they broke up. So now all these emotional feelings are going on. And of course, as teenagers they have emotional problems anyway because it's puberty. It's all these different things. It's trying to figure out who they are. So that is a lot on a kid's plate, okay? If we want to call it that. Because adults will go, oh, you got nothing. You got nothing. So you go to school, so what? Well, wait till you grow up and you're like me and you got to be working 40 hours a week and get married and have kids and get a house and got a car. And that's a whole different thing. It's the same but different, okay? Both have tons to do and both get overwhelmed with what they have. It does not mean that either one is less or more than the other. Neither one is more validated than the other. So for somebody at 16 years old who's trying to get a license, trying to go to school, starting to think about colleges, maybe has a girlfriend or boyfriend, plays sports on a club, whatever it is, has a part-time job, right? That's a lot for a 16-year-old. So yes, if they feel overwhelmed, and then that's validating, okay? It's okay for them to feel that way. Validate their emotions. Validate their emotional state as a parent or as a friend or as a family member or whatever it may be. It's okay for them to feel that way. Just as much as it's okay for us adults to feel that way when life gets overwhelming. Okay? It's the same but different. But again, when you're telling a kid this, oh, get over it. You're just a kid. You got nothing to worry about. Blah, 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 blah. Until that kid fails a test and then you start screaming at them, okay? Now they feel unworthy, stupid, unvalidated. I can go on, okay? So this is what creates these core beliefs. So why is it now all of a sudden every time they take a test they go into full-blown anxiety? Because they are so worried they're going to fail because they're stupid. And they're going to worry if they fail, they have to deal with you again yelling at them. So think about some of these things, and maybe you've gone through this, or maybe you agree with me, but maybe see someone else doing it to their kids or grandkids or whoever, you know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. This is where these deep-seated core beliefs come from, is when someone tells someone else something negative. You know, you could be driving down the street and somebody cuts you off. You whip open the window and yell, "What are you, stupid?" Now the person's like, oh, it sticks with people. It really does. Some people are like, screw you, I don't care. And they'll keep going. But you know what? Deep down somewhere, that statement is still in there. So maybe that's why that person's so cranky. Maybe that's why they're driving badly that day, because they got all this on their mind that they're not better than anybody else. You know, maybe they're less than worthy or whatever it may be. There's a million things they could be thinking of. So when our experiences don't align with our core beliefs, our minds always set on avoiding cognitive dissonance, which twists them until they do. Okay. So yeah, when things don't line up, it just messes with you. Excuse me. And it makes things a lot harder. So dealing with negative beliefs. There's various strategies for dealing with negative beliefs. First of all, first and foremost, be aware of your negative thought processes, your negative words, whatever it may be. My apologies. I always tell people, when you finally just catch yourself in a negative thought or a negative statement, that's your first step. You know, it's like AA. When you finally admit you have a problem, that's the first step. Well, to me, working on ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, for whatever reason, you know, because negativity can be like an addiction. Some people just strive for negativity. They can't live without negativity because all they know is negativity. So yes, it can be considered like an addiction of sorts. But finally knowing and acknowledging that you have an issue with negativity and that you want to change so you can finally have a life that's happier. There's more kindness, more love, less judgment, a different perception on things. Because when you change, everything changes around you. Everything. Okay? The second thing is understanding where they came from. Okay? So again, going back to childhood, going back to your parents, to your peers, to your family, friends, church, whatever, teachers, you know, whatever it may be. Who said what to you when and why? Okay? So think about that. I specifically still remember my third grade teacher. I was having trouble with another little kid in class, and I went up to her and I said, so-and-so is calling me names and won't stop. And all she did was look at me, put her hands on her hips, and said, oh my God, what is it? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And I was like, well, okay, I guess I'm not getting any help. And I remember thinking that. And I'm like, that's all I was asking for was help. And again, I got shot down. So therefore, now you know why I don't like to ask for help. But I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, okay. Like, and I was never one of those kids who was always at the teacher's desk complaining about this, complaining about that. I was very quiet. So the fact that I got up and asked for help for something just showed that I really honestly needed it. And, you know, instead of saying, okay, let me go talk to so-and-so and we'll figure this out. Nope, get over it, go sit down. And needless to say, that's one statement I do not believe in anymore. I haven't believed in that one for a long time. Sticks and stones may hurt your bones, yes, but names will hurt you. They will. So, you know, because again, what you hear gets absorbed into the body. It gets absorbed into your energy. It gets absorbed into your cells. And they turn into belief systems. They really, really do. So, excuse me. So, you know, again, think of where did these things come from? Why do I feel inferior? Why do I have no confidence? Why do I feel like I'm not worthy of being as good as that person or whatever? Because you know what? We're all good. We're all kind. We're all loving. We're all, you know, we're just human beings that say things and do things sometimes that maybe are not correct. But catching ourselves, again, you can turn around and say, you know what? I'm sorry. That was very judgmental of me. I shouldn't have said that. You know, is there anything I can do to help you? Whatever it is, okay? So, you know, and like I said, it could be from anywhere. Mom, dad, sister, brother, grandparents, oh my God, schools, churches, anywhere. It could come from anywhere. It could be a complete stranger, you know? You could be walking around in the store with your parents one day and because you bumped into somebody. They're going to be like, what are you, blind? What are you, stupid? You don't know how to walk? It's like, and you, as a stranger telling you that, like, wow. If this stranger who doesn't even know me can say that about me, what is going on, right? Check those core beliefs. The third thing I wanted to mention, I should say, it's challenging your beliefs. This includes a deliberate attempt at cognitive reconstructuring, okay? Identifying your cognitive distortions and changing things. Plain and simple, changing things. So once you have acknowledged what core belief you have, then figuring out where it came from. Next thing is to challenge that belief. So when something comes up, like, well, for example, lately I've been very intrigued with dot painting, making mandalas and doing Zendangle. And I did one. And I thought it came out kind of cool. And I posted it on social media for my friends. I said, hey, check it out. I said, I've been playing around with this. What do you think? And at one point in my life, I would never have done that. I would have looked at that drawing and gone, this is stupid. I can't draw. What makes me think I can do this? I am throwing this in the trash. Okay? Instead, now my belief system is I did my best. It's my first time doing it. I think I did pretty well for myself. And then I posted it to my friends and they were like, oh my God, that's great. It looks amazing. I love it. Thank you. Right? So reconstruct that thought process. Something else comes up and right away you got old mom, dad, somebody over here saying, you're too stupid. What's wrong with you? Can't you learn? Can't you pass the test? Can't you do this? You know what? It's okay. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. So you might have that thought of like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. Because we all talk to ourselves very negatively. Oh my God, I want to do this. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. Oh my God, what are people going to think? Oh my God, what if it fails? What if it falls apart? What if I fail? Oh my God, oh no, I'm too scared. I can't. And I know you've all done this. I've done this. Everybody does this. Now take the challenge and go, well, wait a minute. You know what? Yes, it scares me. But you know what? I really want to do it. So what's the worst that can happen? Right? I'm going to do it anyway. And if it works, fantastic. And if it doesn't, I'll try again. And if it still doesn't, well, then maybe it's not meant for me. But it was fun trying. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. Let go of the fear. That's what's one of the biggest things that gets in the way. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention as we, talking about this. So belief systems. Another example for you. I just wanted to read this for you. I take little notes here and there because I don't want to forget things. So there's 3 things that connect, that make a belief system, okay? You have a situation, you have a thought, and you have an emotion, okay? So the situation is, spent an hour writing a draft, never thought it was good enough, threw it away, okay? Kind of like my thing painting yesterday, or drawing yesterday. So your thought right away is, when that happens, I can't write, I'm never going to get published. Right? This is a person who wants to write a book. So they spent an hour writing a draft, which an hour is nothing for an author. I mean, that's like 5 minutes in a whole scheme of a book. You know what I mean? But didn't think it was good enough, threw it away right away. Like, that's it. I'm never going to get published because of that 1 hour of time. Which leaves you with this emotional feeling of hopelessness, despair, rejection. See, think, the triangle, right? This is what happened. This is my thought. This is my emotion. I'm done. Okay? So, behind all of that, so like, how did this happen? So my writing's not good enough for other people. So the core belief would be, I'm not a good writer. Okay? So where did this come from? Right away you go back and say, well, maybe I had a teacher in school who told me I was a crappy writer, or I didn't have what it took to be a good writer, okay? But I really want to be a writer, because this might be a purpose for you. Something you need to fulfill for yourself is writing this book, and you feel it deeply within your heart and your soul. But yet this belief system is getting in front of you like, no, you can't. You're stupid. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You'll never get published, right? All of these things. So instead of listening to that negative, whatever, try a different approach. Here's a couple of coping strategies for you. You could go to school, okay? Attend and graduate from like a writing class of sorts. Okay, whether it's a college level thing, maybe it's a workshop somebody's had. A lot of times authors will have workshops on how to write, and they help you a lot. You know, so that's a thought. So attend one of those workshops or take a class, okay? Because if you don't feel you're good enough, then do that so you can validate for yourself that, okay, I got this. Okay, maybe you you were off a little bit, but that's okay. But you learn as you go, okay? That's all right. Also, share your work with more publications. So somebody may write a book and send it to one publication company. And that one company goes, yeah, no, we're not interested. That's it. I'm not going to sell books. There are lots of publishers out there. Don't send your publishing to one company. Send it to 10, 15, 20. Somebody somewhere will pick it up. Okay? Don't give up on yourself. So, the more you use coping strategies to work on what you need to work on, like I said, take a class, send out your manuscript to different places. That's how you get through this, okay? Now, let's say you've submitted an article to the New York Times and it was rejected. Okay, again, you might say, oh my God, I can't write. It's not good. It's this, it's that, it's blah, 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 okay? You could have been negatively attaching yourself to this, going, okay, that's it. I'm throwing this thing away. I spent a year on it. It's useless. I'm done. Boom, okay? That's the other side of it, all right? You have the positive way to deal with it, and you have the negative way to deal with it. I always say shoot for the positive, because that's what will get you where you want to be. So, you know, there's always a positive and negative to everything. So make sure that you're not just sticking to negative stuff. You know, I don't care what you're trying to do in life. I said write a book because that was an example that I had. But you know what? I mean, it could have been the same way with me. I mean, I could have said, oh my God, I want to open up a healing center. I want to do Reiki. And somebody said, what are you going to do that for? Nobody knows what that is. That's stupid. That'll never work. Well, I'm working on year 19 coming up in March, so I think I did okay for myself. And I didn't listen to everybody else. Did I get discouraged along the way? Yeah. When we first started and it was slow moving, yeah. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I should have, this was a mistake. And I'm like, no, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. That I'm supposed to do this. I know I am. I love doing Reiki. I'm going to make this work. And obviously I'm not by myself. I'm with my sister. But even with her, it was the same thing. It's not like neither one of us had clientele when we first opened. We both went and learned what we had to learn and went right into opening up a place with no clientele, no big background experience. So you know what? As long as you stick with it and you keep moving, even when the thoughts are negative and you think you're not going to make it, and you twist it around and say, you know what? I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this work. What else can I do to get this out there so people know we're here? That's what we did. Again, we could have said, oh, well, it didn't work out and shut down. I should have never done this or trusted this. But no, instead we worked towards making it better, making it work, pushing forward no matter what. So think about that. No matter what you're doing, what it is, whatever the negative is, you can always turn it around to a positive. So I just want to throw some common core beliefs at you. See if any of these make sense to you. Core beliefs about yourself, okay? Because that's where a lot of people go. I'll never be good enough for my parents. A lot of kids feel that. Maybe you're an AB student, but your parents or one of your parents expects that you're a straight A student. Well, what happened? Were you slacking? Did you not study? Why did you get a B? Me, I never cared. If my kids came home with an A's, I was lucky. They came home with straight A's all the time, and the occasional oh, okay, well, what happened there? And we would discuss it. But I was never one of those people oh, you have to have straight A's. No. I need to conceal my emotions. Okay, that we talked about that one already. I'm incapable of loving others. Sometimes parents can be like this. Maybe the child is going through something that's making them feel mad or angry, sad, misunderstood. And a lot of times kids will come out with anger because of how they're feeling. So when you look at them and they're like, what's going on with you? Nothing. Can't you just leave me alone? Rah, rah, rah. Well, aren't you mean? I'm your mother. You should love me. It's happened. So then, of course, oh, okay, I'm incapable of loving people. I guess apparently I'm just a rotten person. I guess I'm just negative. So I guess that's who I am. It's happened. It has happened. I need to earn my happiness. There's nothing that you need out there that you need to acquire that would make you happy. Happiness comes from within, and we all know this. Happiness comes from you being happy with you. And when you're happy with you, the happiness extends outside of yourself as well. Feeling good is not okay. Some people, well, especially negative people, don't like it when other people are happy. What are you so happy about? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Seen that a few times myself. I don't deserve the things I want, meaning I'm not worthy of having said item. That's one thing I've always, allowed myself, if I feel that this is a good thing for me and I really want it, why can't I have it? If I worked hard, why can I not have it? I think I started a lot of that when I was really young, because I remember my first brand new car, I bought it 19 years old. Granted, it wasn't a big fancy car, but it was a brand new one. And I was only 19 years old. I was working full time. I bought myself my first brand new car. And every car I've bought after that has always been a brand new car. And it's because that's what I wanted and that's what I went after. And that's what I did and manifested. So, of course, do I deserve it? Sure, I deserve it. Everybody deserves it. There's a difference between heart-centeredness of knowing you deserve good things in life and ego, which portrays, I need to be better than everybody, so I deserve a better car, a bigger car. My car is more expensive than yours. That's ego. Okay? There's a difference. Nobody respects me. I'm not interesting. I shouldn't be enjoying myself. You ever, oh my gosh. I would say I've seen this in older generations when I don't have time to go out and have fun. I have to take care of your grandmother and I have to take care of your dad and I have to do this and I have to do that. There's no time for play. So then when you go out and decide to have fun, you feel guilty. So you feel like, oh, I shouldn't be out here having fun. My mom's stuck at home taking care of everybody and I'm out having fun. That's not fair. Again, different scenarios. Nobody listens to me unless I yell. Okay. Sometimes, it's just when you think your voice is weak, I think it really expands outwards to everybody else, because I've heard people say that, well, I say something and nobody seems to hear me. I'm like, did you speak up? Well, yeah. Okay. So maybe it's just wait for a moment and say, oh, hey guys, I got something I wanted to tell you, and then come out with it. It's just personalities sometimes. Some people have very charged personalities. So when they talk, everybody kind of listens. And if your energy is a much softer energy and you're like, oh, hey, people don't always hear it. And it doesn't mean they do it on purpose. But if you're taking it in as it is on purpose, Maybe it's like you're not feeling like your voice is ever heard. Now, where did that come from? Okay, so maybe as a kid, you were always told to keep quiet. Maybe as a kid, you were told you were to be seen and not heard. Any of those things, okay? I don't know, let's see, what else? Even my best efforts are never good enough. I see that in relationships a lot. It doesn't seem, no matter what I do, it's never good enough. You know, a mother and daughter, it doesn't matter what I do, it's never good enough for my mother. You know, I do this for her and I do that for her and blah, 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 blah. And it's never good enough. Okay, where did that belief system come from? Maybe your mother made you also feel like it was never enough. Maybe her mother did it to her. So now you have this belief system. And all it is a pattern that has continued throughout the generations. I'm not pretty enough. Right? A lot of us women say that. I'm sure guys say it too. I'm not handsome enough. I'm not smart. Nobody loves me. I'll never be as smart as other people. Why did they get all the good ideas and I'm just too stupid to think of anything worthwhile? Do any of those ring a bell? If so, write it down and now go back. Where did you get that from? Who made you feel that way? You know, there's so many others as well. I mean, it's just crazy what we feel when it comes to core beliefs. I mean, you know, I can't forgive myself for my mistakes. I'm not capable of doing things. Nobody wants to hear what I think. I am no use to anybody. I don't belong here. I have no good ideas. I don't matter. I need to please others to earn their respect. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm hard to love. I need to work hard to earn others' trust. It's like, instead of looking at you have to work so hard to earn someone's trust, maybe look at the other person and go, why do they have trust issues? Right? It's not all about you. It's about many different factors. So when you're feeling like this, from, you know, especially that one, needing to work so hard to earn somebody's trust, it's like, well, if you've done nothing wrong to make them mistrust you, then just be you. And if they trust you, they do. And if they don't, well, maybe you need another friend. Right? But it's just crazy. I mean, all these different things that we believe, religious things. I've had people come to see me for angel card readings, and they're like, what does the church think about this? And I'm like, well, they frown upon it. They do. No mediums, no psychics, none of that stuff, because otherwise all they say is it's the devil talking through me, that he's just saying things that you want to hear. I'm honest with them. I said, but if you choose to believe that this is what you want to do and you think it's okay, then by all means stay here and I will read your cards. Otherwise, if you want to go, you can go. And they always stay. Why? Because they just needed to know that it was okay. Sometimes people just need permission. And I know we should be changing our own core beliefs, but for somebody to come back and tell me, say, you know what? Your feelings are valid, and if that is what you feel, then you go with what you feel. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. And they stay. Then when we're done, they're going, I don't know where they think this is all devil work. So it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, really look at working on changing these beliefs. Now, the big question is, how long does it take to change these belief systems? Well, let's see. If you are, say, my age, 57, and you haven't even worked on yourself yet to change anything, and you've been through quite a few of those things I mentioned, okay? And, well, if you're 57, you've gone through 57 years of believing all this stuff. So how long is it going to take to change it? You may have things that you already believe opposite of what you did before, but it's just that internal voice that goes, oh, I don't think you should do that, right? So that one, those you may be able to get past pretty significantly quick. The rest could take a while. It doesn't change overnight. It really doesn't. Changing core beliefs can be hard, and it may take months before you see any changes at all in your behavior, in your moods. Oh my God, your brain, your mind, your body, all of it just needs time to rewire. Okay? Think of a poor kid who's been verbally abused for years and then gets taken away from his parents and put in foster care. Okay? That kid really believes everything he was told. He really does, because that's all he knows. How long does it take a foster parent or therapy or anything like that to change those beliefs? It takes a while, and that's for a child. So think as a full-grown adult who's been around for a while. It's going to take some time. Like I said, I've been doing this work almost 20 years as a Reiki practitioner, 19 as a business owner, and I still catch myself with some old belief systems that rear their ugly head every once in a while going, oh, remember me? And I go, oh, yeah, no, go away. I can do that now. I couldn't do that, say, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. It takes time. So, it's learning to see the world through new glasses. You know what I mean? A little bit of hard work, a little bit of positivity, and a little belief in yourself. Those three things will help you to start working your way towards change, okay? And anybody can change. I know they always say people never change. No, it's not true. People can change if they want to. It is a belief. If I believe I can change something about myself, then I can do it. And I've done it. I've changed lots of things in the past 20 years. It took me the whole 20, and I'm sure as my life continues until I reach the end, there's going to be something somewhere that I'm going to have to deal with that's going to question my beliefs. It's always going to happen, no matter what. The difference is how you react to it and how you treat it when it happens. Do you stay in the negative, or do you change it and shift it to the positive? So some things that you can do at home to help yourself: 1, recognize it; 2, where did it come from; 3, do some affirmations. Okay? So if all of a sudden, let's say we'll go back to the author in its book, 1 hour writing, this sucks, I'm going to throw it away, boom, nobody's ever going to want my book, I'm not going to be a writer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, wait a minute. Who made me feel this way? Maybe say a teacher, okay? Oh, you'll never be good enough to become a writer. Okay, fine. But is that my belief or theirs? Well, it's theirs. So then it's not mine. So I can turn this around. And I trust and believe that I am going to be an amazing writer, and that writing comes to me easily. Say that every single day, okay? Make it positive, make it an affirmation, intend it, manifest it, whatever you need to do, okay? Any of these old belief systems from the past, start a journal, okay? I want you to write a letter explaining anything and everything you can remember that was told to you that you do not believe, and get it out of your system, okay? Then take that thing outside and burn it, safely, of course. If you have issues with your mother, okay? Remember that a lot of times when people project their junk on you, it's because it's their junk, not yours. So if it bothers you, write mom a letter. Mom, this is how I feel when you say this, blah, 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 whatever it may be. You're not going to give it to her. This is for your healing, okay? Yell, scream, holler, swear, it doesn't matter. Get it out, write it all up, take it outside, burn it, okay? Put Post-its around your area where you live, where you work, whatever it may be. You know, I am good enough. I've got this. I can do that. I'm confident. I'm strong. I am fearless. I am whatever. I am is the most powerful 2 tiny little words you can say that helps you to get where you want to go. So those little things there can help change these belief systems, these core beliefs that you have had. And remember, you can either do a meditation where you envision yourself reaching down deep into that core and pulling out those old core beliefs and putting them in the fire. This is not my belief anymore, in the fire. And this is through meditation. So, like I said, make up your own meditation. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, relax, get comfortable, and then just envision yourself in like a beautiful garden or in the yard or on a beach, nice fire in front of you, and say, the core belief that I have about me being unworthy, I'm pulling it out, I'm throwing it in the fire. My core belief about me being stupid, I am taking it out and I am throwing it in the fire. So these are just simple things that you can do. And your meditation doesn't have to be an hour long. You can do it for 10 or 15 minutes. And then just do it again another day and another day and another day. And just keep going and keep doing, because these are the things that are going to help you to heal, to get past all these core beliefs that are hurting you. And if you know somebody, by all means, if you know somebody who's in such negative thinking processes because of their core beliefs that it is dangerous to their mental health, make sure somebody knows about it so they can get the help that they need. Because sometimes, yes, it does get to that point. And if there's nobody there to help them and show them and guide them and help them to heal themselves, then unfortunately we have things like suicide or drugs or alcohol or any other addiction to help bury those thoughts because we don't want to deal with them. So, my PSA for today. So work on your core beliefs. Catch yourself when you notice you're saying, I can't, I'm not, I'm, okay? I can't, I'm not, and I'm, there's your trigger words, okay? As soon as you say those things, wait a minute, is that really my core belief? And if it's not, where did it come from? Okay, now I got to let it go. I got to change it. So turn it into something positive, okay? Always start with the I am. I am worthy. I am smart. I am strong. I am confident. I am, oh my God, you can I am yourself to death. There's a lot of words that you can use. It's whatever you're trying to change. So remember that. So good luck with your core beliefs. I will see you next month. And other than that, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Thanks.